everybody, OuterOrange here. We are back today with another Pale Moon deck profile. So today we're going to be talking about Gunsolid Dragon End of Stage and talking about what this deck profile can do and all the fun stuff. I'll be showing you guys the cards. Let's go on in and do that. So we are back. We're back with our Gunsolid Dragon End of Stage. We're going to talk about the profile today. We're going to start with our boy over here. We're going to start with our grade 3s pretty much, and our main grade 3 staple is Gunsolid Dragon End of Stage. This card was so hated on when it came out because it does the exact opposite of what a normal Pale Moon clan does, but we're here with it because now it actually works. It's a pretty fun deck. If you want to sack opponents, this is one of the ways you can do it without having to play Kagero. So let's talk about it. So we start with our main boss card, 4 of our Gunsolid Dragon. So this card's a little confusing until you kind of understand like what it does. So pretty much this is your main boss card, and what he does is at the end of the battle he attacked. If your soul has 0 cards cost, put 2 cards from your hand into soul, put all of your rear guards into soul, and restand this unit. And then his other skill is when you ride on top of a grade 3, like that, soul blast all of your cards, and until your turn he gets 5k, and your opponent cannot call Sentinels from hand for that battle that the unit attacked. So pretty much it's also a Sentinel straight. Really good card. The whole focus of the deck is to make sure your soul is always 0, and that makes him restand and do lots of fun stuff. So that's our main grade 3. We're gonna go on into our grade 2s here, and we have a lot to discuss in this grade 2 and grade 1 pile. So let's go on into it. We're gonna start with our Silverthorn Acrobat Leonor. So Silverthorn Acrobat Leonor was the first kind of like thing that came out to help this really work, and pretty much your skill is when placed cost. If your soul has 1 or more cards, you soul blast everything out, and she gets 15k. So pretty much she's your beat stick. You put her down, get rid of your soul, and she becomes 24. And what makes her really awesome is that it makes your end of stage go live. Pretty much your end of stage now has no soul, and he can restand. So we run 2 of her. Next, we run 4 copies of Fizzbright Escaper. So this is her. By the way, what's really nice about this deck is that there's a lot of commons in here, so it's really easy to build this out. But anyway, her skill is when she's put from rear guard into soul. So again, with end of stage, you have to suck everything in, so she'll be sucked in too. If your soul has 1 or more cards, soul blast everything out, call her back out from soul, and she gets 15k. So she's kind of similar to our Silverthorn girl, except with this is that she comes back out. So the other girl, so this is like your starter. This is what you want to start with attacking, and this you want to have out as well, and then you put her into soul and then put her out, and then she attacks again on your second restand. So what's really good about this is that she becomes a 24k. You get your soul you get your soul blasted out again, and she becomes a 24k attacker. Really nice, adds more pressure. Very fun card. This is the new stuff that came out in Butterfly de Moonlight. This was part of it. I really like the idea of this card. Very, very fun to mess around with. That's why I put her at 4, because I want to make sure we see her as soon as possible. Next, and this is part of your pretty much your turn 1 to your end of stage turn, like what you want to do like between like the beginning to that turn. And so we started off with our misdirections. I'm gonna put it right here. So mixed direction, pretty simple. When placed from hand, counterblast, put a grade 1 or less into soul, draw 2, put another card from your hand to soul. So this filters your hand really well, gets you through your deck faster, because you want to see those end of stages as soon as possible. You want to see all your cards as soon as possible, because all your cards are pieces in this deck. So this is pretty much what I use to get through that really fast. She pretty much helps you just get to your stuff as quickly as possible. She is a when placed from hand, so you gotta make sure like she's in your hand as soon as possible to get her to activate. We run 2 of her, and then we run 2 of pretty much the opposite of her. So that one stacked our soul. This one does the opposite. This one subtracts our soul. Similarly, this is Dancing Princess of the Night Sky. When placed from hand, counterblast, soul blast, and call a card from your soul to rear guard. When placed from soul, this gets 3k. So in case you don't have anything else that can hit, this could be one of your cards that can hit when you get something out of soul. What's nice about her is she subtracts your soul, and you can call a card from your soul to rear. So early pressure is really nice with this. This is kind of like what you want to ride between this and this. If you're trying to get rid of soul, or you're trying to gain soul, whatever you're trying to do between these two, this is a really good way to like have a starting game going towards your end of stage play. Next we have our Beast Tamer. Amarth Beast Tamer. This card is pretty simple. I'm actually not too crazy about this card. I may filter it out with something else. I'm not too sure. But pretty much when she attacks Van, put another rearguard into soul and she gets 3k. She makes other stuff better, and also what she does is some of these cards that are requiring to soul blast require you to have something, one card in soul. So this could be a good starting point. Say you already have no soul, you can attack with her, put another rearguard in, and say that's your only soul right now. Then you can use other skills to kind of get it out. But this is actually kind of a little hard to pull off, but she does work with another card in here, so I keep her in because she's not bad, but she's not like the best option in terms of like what you want on your board. But she does get 3k, so she becomes a 12k hitter, so which is not bad. I will agree with that. Next, I run 2 and Dive Beast Tamers. This card is really nice. So something that's really solid about this deck is that you don't really counterblast that often. You do, but you don't need to. You counterblast with literally 3 cards. I saw the other 2 we saw, this is the 3rd one. So this one is counterblast to rest this unit and then call 2 cards pick a column and call 2 cards from there to the board. So this helps you first of all, it helps you deplete your soul if you don't want to do it the other way. It helps you deplete your soul. It also helps you get a column. It adds pressure. This card does a lot for you if you need it done, as like it just pretty much creates more attacking as quickly as possible. She by herself is useless. You never want to attack with this unit, like unless you absolutely have to. She's only a 5k attack base, so you don't ever want to attack with her, but unless you absolutely have to. But she's really good to just get stuff from your soul onto the board before your end of stage play as quickly as possible. So run her at 2. The next card I'm going to show is a weird one, and you can substitute this with something else. But I run 1 Power Rise Elixir. As I explained earlier, this particular deck barely counterblasts. You really don't need to worry about your counterblast that much. A lot of stuff requires just you depleting your soul as quickly as possible. So I run 1 of this. Your alternative to this, if you really hate this card, because I know some people do, you can run the book. The book is another alternative. The issue that I have with the book is that I usually have trouble having a way to have 3 soul. By the time I get to this card, because you only run 1, by the time I get to this card, it's really hard for me to utilize this, because if I have already used end of stage of skill and I have nothing in soul, usually getting 3 cards back into soul is really hard. Whereas this is just counterblast 2 and one of your units gets 20k. You put this on your end of stage, of course, and you make your end of stage attack as lethal as possible. But it's up to you between what you want to do, if you want to run this, or just run another grade 2 or another grade 3, whatever you choose. I like this because, like I explained, counterblasts aren't that big of a deal in this clan. This is really easy to, not in this clan, in this particular archetype of the clan, but you can utilize this really fast. You don't have to worry about soul, you just have to worry about counterblast. You can usually get this off because this deck does have open counterblast quite often. This 3 counterblast, it's a little bit harder to get off. This is a lot faster, and this deck is really about killing your opponent as quickly as possible. So you can use this quicker than you can use this, so I prefer this. But if you want to run book, you can run book. I won't get mad. Anyway, that's the end of our grade 2 lineup. As you saw, that was a big grade 2 lineup. Next, on to our grade 1 lineup. We start with our Purple Trapedus. Purple Trapedus is an amazing card, especially in this particular archetype. Like her skill is when put from rearguard into soul blast herself out and call something else out. So pretty much this adds more attacks. So end of stage says to suck everything in. If you have 2 of these on the board, you can suck them both in, suck in all the rest of your rearguards, and then use her skill to bring 2 more cards out. So that's 2 more attackers you can bring out, or 1 more attacker, however many of these you have on the board. As many as you have on the board before your end of stage attacks, the better. This card is really nice for just manipulating more attacks as quickly as possible. You definitely want to keep this at 4. This is a staple with end of stage. Like, this makes end of stage so much better in every possible way. It pretty much, if you have 2 end of stage attacks pretty much every single turn, so long as you have an empty soul, and this gives it so that your second end of stage attack has more attacks, because it's really hard to enable attacks after you soul blast everything out, but this gets you to do that as quickly as possible. So very good card, definitely recommend it. Our next grade 1 is Brassy Bunny. So Brassy Bunny, I used to kind of not like this card, and now I do. This card is when placed from hand, discard a card from your hand, draw a card, and if your Vanguard is grade 3, soul charge 2. So this is a really nice way to get some stuff into your soul if you need to. It helps you draw, helps you filter your hand out. This is actually really good, and on your grade 3, it's even better. So on the end of stage, before you soul blast everything, you can kind of soul some stuff in for multiple reasons. One, to get through your deck as quickly as possible, but two, you can soul charge stuff that you may need. Like even if you get this in, you can use her once she's in soul, you can like utilize her. So this is like more ways of just getting as quick as possible through your deck and being able to do stuff. But this is actually really good. I like this card. I like the filtering too, so it's very nice. So but I put it at 3. Next we have our other component of our end of stage soul blasting. This is our grade 1 tempting hoopster. When placed, cost your soul has 1 or more cards, soul blast everything, and one of your Vanguards gets 10k. So this makes your Vanguard more lethal. You put her out, and it's a 1-place skill, so you can use her twice in a turn if you want to. What you can do, which is like a really nice style actually. You use end of stage skill to soul these 2 in. Soul blast this out to bring something else out, and you bring this out. So you just used it before, and then you use it again, so long as you have that condition of having that 1 in soul. So it's really nice to use with Purple Trapedus. This card's pretty bonkers. I love it. I like the fact that it makes your end of stage even more lethal because it gives them 10k. So this card becomes even more annoying to deal with. It makes end of stage even more annoying to deal with. The more annoying you can make end of stage, the better your life is, and the harder your opponent's life is. So this card pretty much is the other support that they brought out for end of stage. I run it at 4 because you definitely want to see this as soon as possible, and you want to use it as much as you can because this utilizes the end of stage having no soul. Very fun card, very fun to play around with. And lastly, with our grade 1 lineup, we've run our Masquerade Bunnies. This pretty much helps us find our end of stages as quickly as possible. On top of the fact, you're manipulating your soul pretty consistently. She becomes a 13k beat stick. Very good card. And discarding in this particular archetype isn't too great because all your pieces do stuff. Your pieces are very important in this type of deck style. So unfortunately, she can kind of weaken you a little bit. Usually you end up discarding your triggers. At least that's what I end up doing. I usually discard triggers whenever I use this, but this is a very go ham, go home, sack your opponent as quickly as possible type of deck. So you don't really care about your triggers being in your hand because either you sack them or they sack you. Like it really comes down to how quickly you can kill your opponent, as I explained earlier. So it's not really a big of a concern, but I usually just use this just to search out my end of stage as quickly as possible. So that's really the main focus of her. You can put it at 4, put something else down to 3 if you need to, but good card, fun card. And then for our trigger lineup, the fun part. So I run 3 draw PGs because I do think that drawing is important. It's not mandatory because there are so many ways to kind of get through your deck, but you want to run your 3 draws. I run 1 Sentinel crit, so that puts us at the 4 Sentinels, and then we have our 4 crit triggers, and then we have 4 more crit triggers, so I run 9, and then we run our 4 heals. So that's pretty much all our triggers for the deck. And then lastly, of course, we have our starter and our really cute starter and our quick shield. And then of course we have our lovely if I can get them open. We got our Excel markers, got more Excel markers, Excel 2 markers, got Huga in here because Huga's important. All the stuff you need to pretty much utilize this deck. This deck can go Excel 1 or Excel 2. It really doesn't matter too much. You don't ride too much in this deck. Your main focus is end of stage himself. You always just want to make sure he is as strong as possible. So your rear guards aren't as important, but they're important to utilize your end of stage as much as possible. So their importance is to add pressure, but usually you're not going to be riding too many times. At max, usually you ride 2 a game. So I prefer going Excel 2 usually, just because drawing is really nice in this deck. You want to draw as much as you can, and considering we lowered our draw PGs, going to Excel 2 is usually the better option. But if you think you can kill your opponent, and if you think you're going to sack your crits as much as possible, you can go Excel 1. I indulge you to go Excel 1. But yeah, either one honestly works. I've been preferring Excel 2 just because draw is super nice. So yeah, that's pretty much the entire deck profile Let me bring back my end of stages for everything. That's pretty much the whole deck profile. This is a really fun deck, but it's a little bit tricky to get used to. This deck's a little bit more complex. There's a lot more moving parts going on. Just recently did a review on Harry. Harry's a lot more straightforward. This deck requires a little bit more knowledge on how Pale Moon works as a clan. If you do decide to pick up this deck, I would recommend really playtesting it before bringing it anywhere. Another part about this deck, and along with the Harry deck, is that this deck's actually not expensive to build. The end of stages are around $5, I think, right now. But everything else, except for maybe your searcher, but honestly everything else is really cheap. There's a lot of commons, and now she used to be kind of expensive, but she's not anymore because she got a reprint recently. There's a lot of commons, a lot of pretty easy to obtain cards, aside from some of the older cards, but the older cards aren't too expensive to where you have to worry about it, because this is actually an old card too, and this card used to be cents, and now it's starting to go back up. But long story short, this deck isn't too crazy on price. This isn't Silverthorn or anything like that, so you won't have to drop a ton of money. You will have to invest a little bit unless you own already some of these cards, but this deck isn't too bad. Very fun deck, very fun counter moving pieces. It does the opposite of what Pale Moon does, which is really bonkers. And I think my favorite part about this entire clan right now is that nobody knows what you're playing. Like you bring out your starter and it could be anything. There's so many different archetypes. There's Silverthorn, there's End of Stage, there's Harry and End of Stage combination, there's Harry and Beast Tamer combination, there's Beast Tamer on its own, there's Nightmare Doll. There's so many things that can come out of this clan right now. So it's really fun to try out all these different decks just to see like how they work and interact together. It's probably my favorite part about this clan. I hope you guys enjoy the deck profile. If you have any questions regarding on how to play this deck or what you can do with this deck and manipulate it to its max potential, please feel free to ask. I actually really enjoy playing this deck. It's really fun to put crits on this and then restand and attack with multiple crits. I feel like I'm a force clan but with extra attacks. It's super fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys in the next one. Peace out. Das Vidania. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.